Good afternoon, and welcome to Special Moments with Stevie D. My name is Dr. Dave Sweater. Perhaps you're familiar with my previous books.
Just let him handle it.
We're Taller Than Toddlers, That Makes Us Better, and my newest book, Ignoring Your Loved Ones, A Path to Moving Forward. Today we have some special guests.
Take care of it.
We have Mr. Bob Evans, who apparently is just violent. So we're going to talk to him about that. Bob Evans is a known, well, we really don't know much about him,
Jimmy.
but we're going to talk.
Just call
we're going to
Jimmy.
share, and we're going to interface.
Okay, when you
Mr.
call
Bob
Fat
Evans.
Jimmy, tell him I told you to
Bob,
take care of it.
Our other guest,
That's why I told you to call
a very
Fat
special
Jimmy.
guest, I might add.
I gotta go.
Our,
All right, bye. What's that?
Mr. Bob Evans, thank you for joining us.
Hey, who told you my name?
You did.
I didn't tell you my name.
So
Just be careful here, all right? Just be careful. That's all I gotta say.
So
A lot of people don't know I'm here, and I don't want them to know I'm here.
Well, appearing on television is a very good way to not be recognized.
Yeah.
But let's talk about violence. You say here you were a violent person.
Well, I'm very good at violence. You know, what I got to tell
Good.
the audience here, because Mr. Stevie D called me to come down here about some kind of show to educate children on violence. I'm just going to tell you about violence. If you step out of line, you're going to get popped. That's the way it is in life. This is how I grew up in my neighborhood, and this is how everybody should grow up. So if you cross the line, even right here on this television show, I don't have a problem rearranging your face, just to let you know.
Thank you. Now,
you don't need to talk to me too much, and just don't say my name.
We have we also have a very special guest, Mr. Basura Sandoval, who most recently completed an interpretive dance piece based on a 1988 DOS manual. He is an artist, he is an activist, he is a credit fraud specialist, and a choreographer. Please join us, Basura. Thank you.
Woo! What the hell?
Oh, by the way, it's Basura.
Basura.
Basura is like trash. It's like that old clothes you just pick up and you discard, you just throw away. But Basura is like garbage, like those quaint little clothes that you get from the Goodwood boutique, you know? Adorable. You know, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, I'm another man's treasure.
Wonderful.
Oh, Basura. But you can call me Kike.
Thank you. And the name again? Basura. Thank you. Now, many of our viewers are probably wondering, where is Stevie D? Unfortunately, Stevie D cannot be here due to a tragic water filtration system accident. And we do hope the doctors can remove the rod successfully. Now, Mr. Bob Evans.
I told you, you just call me Bob. That's all you need to know. That ain't my real name, but it doesn't matter. Just Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Just call me Bob.
So,
you stay over there.
So
I'm over
now,
here.
Fruitcake.
Please.
So
now there's no need for angry, aggressive language.
Hey, that's the way I was raised, man. You get out of line, you get popped. That's, you know, my fourth wife told me about breathing exercises. And sometimes I just need a break to breathe so I don't pop off and rearrange somebody's face. You know how many times my right hand has been broken from popping somebody in the skull? Just take a guess. How many times I've broken my hand?
130.
Just take a guess. No.
970.
Okay, that's close.
Okay.
6 times. Six times I've broken my hand popping somebody, and multiple times. So, you know what I do is I just use my left.
So as an interpretive violence specialist in the field of psychology, I'm intrigued by your need for violence. Have you ever thought of, I don't know, listening to Enya?
Yeah, well, I just got something to tell you kids out there, that before you do violent things, think about it. If somebody crossed the line, okay, then they deserve it. They deserve to get their face beat in. If nobody did nothing to you, then you don't got to do nothing. You know, someone else, you got to have friends in life. That's what it's all about. You have friends in life, they help you. They help you get out of jams. I'm the type of person that I help people get out of jams by beating somebody up if they cross the line.
But you can't beat friends, right? Friends are best, right?
So, Basura.
Go talk to that Fruit Loop over
Basura.
there.
So, once again, you recently completed an interpretive dance piece on a 1988 DOS manual. Tell me about the process.
The process was very interesting in that I had to come up with the pluses and minuses, the zeros and ones, because with those numbers you can get like more numbers. And so, and I thought how best to represent DOS, and I was thinking monkeys. Monkey movements.
So, I'm having trouble fathoming what exactly I know what a DOS manual is. I haven't been seeing it in 25 years. Why that? And can you demonstrate for us exactly how you interpreted the text into physical movement?
Well, I'll tell you.
Please.
My most recent project, the DOS one was very good and it ran very well and I enjoyed it. But I felt that I needed to represent myself and the human condition. And so I felt like what best to show the immigrant human condition of America. And so, have you ever seen Hamilton? Hamilton is marvelous.
I
It's
have. It's a
perfection.
treasure of a theater
It's
performance.
beautiful.
It can't
See,
really
yes,
be
you
beat. I mean, it's
understand. You understand?
yes.
So it's got music, and it's got singing, and it's got acting, and it's got the Constitution.
So
and
how does this
patriotism,
relate to
And
a-
it's got adultery, and it's got America.
So how does this relate to your current piece?
Well, my current piece is I wanted to show my immigrant experience, because Hamilton was about an immigrant. He came from another country and he found his truest best self here. And so I thought, what transformative moment in American history best represents this human condition? And I thought, Lorena Bobbitt. Yes, Lorena Bobbitt. Lorena Bobbitt came here from another country. She was an immigrant.
She was.
And she was beaten, and she was abused, and she was feeling hopelessness. But one day, she realized her truest best self, that she had freedom in her own hands. So one day, she rose up and she took freedom in her hands, and then she cut off freedom's penis and threw it out the window onto the side of the road, just like America.
So true, so true. On that subject of interpretive penile dance interpretation, Mr. Bob Evans, you're still
Just
violent.
call me Bob. You don't gotta.
Bob, can I call you Bob?
Frickin' name
Bob,
here. Done.
You're angry. You're violent.
Not angry.
How do you channel that? And is there ever a time where violence isn't appropriate?
Well, let me
Say
tell you something.
bar mitzvahs.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that. But just let me talk about what this fruitcake over here said about immigrants. I just want to let you know, I really don't care for immigrants. There are too many damn immigrants in this country already, running around like this. I don't have any.
I'm sorry he's calling you a fruitcake, but that is not nice to say to somebody.
Just let me talk here for a second,
now
then
I
I'll
believe
shut
that
up.
there is.
I don't have any patience for fruitcakes, for immigrants, for people who cross the line.
But all
for
our
dumb
your
idiots.
forefathers came here from another country. They're all immigrants.
That's something else. That's something else. I'm not going to talk about it. All I want you to
And
know
they were
is
not
you cross the
They
line,
brought other kind
you
of
get
pasteles
punished.
también.
So
I'm getting a little bit angry with this Fruit
brought
Loop over here.
flan,
I need some
and
time
they
on my own
brought
here.
Pan dulce.
Hello,
They
have
did
you
not just bring fruitcakes.
always been angry and violent?
No.
So
I
what
was not
is
angry and
the
violent until I was
motivation?
about 6 and my dad beat the crap out of me. Then I realized, hey, he's my old man. He had a right to do it. Then he beat the crap out of my
Well,
mom.
at least he waited till you were 6.
Yeah.
So
it was all right. It wasn't
how
that
do
bad.
you-
Something.
how do you-
I learned the ways of the world, and that's how I survive.
So, Bob, it says here that you're a camp counselor. How do you balance the need to be sensitive at a summer camp to counsel children and be violent.
Look, I'm just telling you here, whatever your name is, crazy guy, that you got to be firm with kids. You got to be firm with people. You got to draw the line so they know they got a foundation. They know what they can do and what they can't do. This land is great because of opportunities. And if you screw with somebody's opportunity, you deserve to get your nose broken, your arm broken.
So
That's the way it should
is
be.
it
The
safe to
police don't do enough to really take care of things.
So, Basura,
Yeah, go talk to him for a while.
your current piece, which is being performed at the Philharmonic Dance Center in Schenectady, is sold out.
Absolutely.
What do you attribute the popularity of your current piece to today's cultural challenges?
Well, you know, it represents a zeitgeist of the immigrant and human condition.
No, are you saying that's an intertextual, autospecific interpretation? Or is it one of more of a cognival tendency?
Well, it does run towards the connivia
Yes.
because humans are conniving. But they sometimes have to balance the conniving with some kind of prurient and extroverted dance movement.
I see. And you had recently made a comment to the press about the character Screech from Saved by the Bell being incarnate of evil. Why would you say that?
I was told that this Screech moment will not be coming part of our discussion.
Well, we're going to go over here to Bob and see.
Because he's a possessed individual. He just makes me, brings all those emotions up because, you know, Screech, sometimes he does not try to be evil, but he just is evil.
So is this a Screech manifestation something that is born from childhood adversity, or is this due to angst in industrial society?
Well, you know, I don't know whether he had angst in his childhood diversity, and I don't understand where Screech got that diversity of evil. But he is very diverse in being evil.
Right.
He comes from evil from all over every angle he does, and I know and people just love Screech, but he's hidden.
Well,
he's hidden his true objective. He's hidden it. He don't trust Screech.
So, Bob,
Can I get out of here? I'm tired of this
So,
Fruit Loop here.
I'm still trying to figure out what
He's
it
still
is.
calling you a Fruit Loop. I don't know why he's still.
Listen, I calmed down. I'm calm now. I
Okay.
can talk.
No,
talk for a minute.
can you associate other people with different types of cereal besides Fruit Loop? Say
Cocoa Puff?
Kix,
Well,
or
Tricks is for
Yes.
kids, okay?
Captain Crunch.
Yeah,
Captain
you
Crunch.
like Captain Crunch, I bet.
so again, your process.
Fruity Pebbles.
My process about what?
Uh,
What are you
when
talking about?
When
here?
you're violent. Now, as a camp
Look,
counselor,
let's put this into perspective.
Please.
I'm not really a violent man all the time. Okay? I
Just-
do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Someone calls me and says, "Hey, this guy got out of line and you're my friend. I got to help my friend." If it means, putting him back in line, that's the way it is. This is America. Okay?
So the violence that you perpetrate isn't necessarily born out of necessity. It's a infantile psychosexual manifestation, wouldn't you say?
No, I wouldn't say any of that. What I would say is, I'm the type of guy, I'm very straightforward. I don't mess around. Stevie D called me, told me to come down here and do this little show. He didn't show up.
I'm a wanderer. I'm a wanderer.
Oh, God, here we
I'm
go.
around,
Okay.
around,
So,
around, around.
I wasn't told I was
I'm
going to
the
have
kind of
this
guy who
Gentlemen, please.
likes to
Tutti
mess
Frutti
around.
with me.
I assure you that the guest list was announced weeks in advance.
I'd like
so
some
you
nice
have an
linguine with
opportunity.
clams, though.
So, since
That
you're,
sounds psychosexual to me.
so let's discuss. Now, you recently did a piece, an interpretive dance piece, on the color yellow. How do you manifest yellow, a color, into physical movement?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yellow is physical.
So
in
please
itself.
demonstrate.
Yellow is.
And how
one
would
of those-
yellow be different than, say, mauve?
Oh, mauve. Just say mauve. Mauve is like so, like this. But yellow is like this. You know, it's like, oh, yellow, I love you, yellow, but mauve.
So, Basura, how are you able to sustain your interpretive dance piece in the color yellow for 12 and a half hours?
It's conditioning.
I see.
A lot of ab work.
I see. Now, do you use like a hair conditioning, or is it a cream rinse? Or
It's a cream rinse.
It's a cream rinse.
It's a
I
cream
see.
rinse. And,
I see.
you know, and sometimes you have to use straighteners because sometimes you can get, your muscles get, you know,
Yes.
a little, you know, just, you know, like carpal tunnel. And so you need a little conditioner and straighteners just to move
Right.
out.
Now, this carpal tunnel, is this near the Caldecott Tunnel?
It's close.
okay.
It's just one, it's like off of 28, I think.
Okay. Well, so if the freeway's backed up, please don't take the carpal
He's
tunnel.
disgusting.
So now, Bob,
Yeah.
you wrote a children's book recently called "Kids, You Must Learn to Smash Faces." Why would you do that? And how did you illustrate it?
Sure. Well, it's about self-defense because there are a lot of violent people out there, a lot of angry people. Kids have to know how to protect themselves. I was given a baseball bat to take to school, and people didn't mess around with me, okay? But kids have to realize someone's trying to do something to you, some crazy guy comes by the schoolyard and offers you candy. You got to know what to do. You know, you can't always carry a baseball bat, but if you can, you get 4 of you together, you grab the guy by the legs, you pull him out, he falls down on his back, and you just start punching the heck out of him.
So have you tried?
And you blow a whistle. Get the security people to come, they'll take over, they'll beat the crap out of him for you. Kids have to know that there are adults that support them, that are there to save them and help them. And some guy who comes around on the schoolyard like that, he deserves to get his brains pulled out. That's what I say.
So would this be brain removal be similar to
Through the nose.
like
Through
a
the nose,
traditional
painful.
like traditional Egyptian mummification?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
are you
just like
saying that you're applying ancient principles to your violent tendencies?
Well, yeah, violence has been going on for a long time. But again, every action has a reaction. The reason I'm violent sometimes is not my fault. I didn't start it. It was somebody else who started it, and I finished it. That's all I got to say. Somebody else messes with you, you got to take care of the situation.
Like
Tell me,
America.
Basura,
That's
like
why I called
America.
Fat Jimmy while we were beginning here, my friend, who's not a violent man. He had that one prison ordeal, but it wasn't much. That's okay.
So Basura, I was
God, here we
I
go
was
again.
lucky enough to catch your interpretive dance piece, commenting on the newest renovation of Mount Rushmore by throwing little small cups of cabbage at a picture of Ted Knight. Didn't quite see the connection.
Hey, don't mess with Ted
Try
Knight.
to again interpret the process for me.
It was pickled cabbage.
Pickled cabbage. And
See.
this is a commentary on the National Park Service renovation of Mount Rushmore. How did you get to that conclusion?
Well, because they refused to put a St. Bernard on there.
On Mount Rushmore.
On Mount Rushmore.
And who?
Everybody knows that the national dog should be the St. Bernard.
I
and that
agree with
it
him.
should be represented on a mountain.
But wouldn't it be better to have an indigenous animal to this continent represent America? And why Mount Rushmore?
But it represents the immigrants.
Oh, crap. Here we go again with the
It
immigrants.
represents
This
immigrants.
is stupid. You know, when you
The
talk
Saint
about a dog,
Bernard
I agree
and,
with
know,
you.
And Ted Knight, he has his, I don't know where he has his head, but it's not on top of his head, or it's
Don't mess
roundabout.
with
He's
Ted
very
Knight.
flexible. He's
Fruitcake.
very flexible. I'll just tell you that.
Bob, That seemed to strike a chord with you.
Yeah,
Is
did.
Ted Knight a personal hero of
Ted Knight's a
yours?
good man. He's a good guy. He's a stand-up guy. Don't
I
talk
don't know.
about
I mean,
Ted
he's pretty
Knight.
flexible. I don't know
No.
how stand-up he is.
So Ted
I-
Knight's been dead for 30
I
years.
will-
How is it that you're still controlled by his essence?
Not that. You know, you're messed up in the head out here. But anyway, I will
know,
agree
'cause
with
that
this guy
essence
over
can
here
smell after a
about
while,
the
huh?
dog. The
Yeah.
dog is man's best friend. The dog is there to protect you. So if somebody messes with you, attacks you, you got a dog to defend you.
And
that dog will rip its guts out or take its right out there. Take right
And
from
it's
the
got a
throat.
barrel with like alcohol in it that it carries underneath its chin. That's a great dog.
I like that.
That's a great
I
dog.
can support that.
So would you say that a Saint Bernard is appropriate as a national symbol for this country? Would an American animal be appropriate for, say, a Swiss symbol?
I don't know about them Swiss. All I can say is there are too many darn immigrants in this country, and they need to be put back in line.
But
Right.
I bet he uses
That's
a
what this
Swiss
is,
Army knife
right
too.
here.
Now, Bob,
Because Swiss Army knives, that's American.
it's
and they have
d-
Swiss, and they don't.
Yeah, it is.
and
I
they
like
make holes.
I like Swiss cheese. I will
See?
say that. I like Swiss
Swiss
cheese.
cheese is as American
On my
as
hamburger.
like apple
Hamburger.
So, tell
Yeah.
me why you're here again.
I don't know why I'm
Because,
here. Stevie D called me, told me to come down and do this children's educational thing. He didn't show up. I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be some nice people down here. I like being around nice people. You two, I don't know. You guys are crazy. I'm thinking of flying back where I came
Now,
from.
was this before or after Stevie D's tragic blimp accident?
I don't know. I didn't talk to him
Blimps
about
can be
that.
so
I don't
dangerous.
know anything about that. No
They're
accidents.
evil like Scream.
Accidents are accidents. I'm not. Those are just kind of. I'm not a part of that. Nothing happened. I wasn't around. That's all you got to know.
Neither was I.
So nobody's accusing you.
Yeah,
of
yeah. Just be
anything,
careful,
But we want to know.
because I can sue. I got an attorney too.
Well, there's certainly no
Defamation.
need for that. We have an army of lawyers. We actually have
yeah,
Ken
yeah,
Starr on the
yeah,
legal staff here, so
Ken
I
Starr.
wouldn't go there.
I don't have a problem
we
we have
rearranging
a
his
Swiss
face either.
army of lawyers.
Not sure how to answer that. Basura.
Basura.
It is Basura.
Why do you got to spend so much attention to this guy over
That's
here?
right.
This fruitcake.
Well,
I don't know.
because Basura
I'm
has
dulce.
he is an artist
fruitcake.
and
I'm
a credit
dulce.
fraud specialist and also an interpretive dance choreographer.
Yeah, I saw
Who
that.
is
saw
And a
that.
medium.
and a medium.
He's a medium.
I did not know that.
What's that?
It's not. It's not well done yet. I'm still working on it.
It's not
So
well
you're
done. What is it, like a
channeling.
steak?
So
Cook it in the oven.
I always took you for a 44 long. Now, Bob, you were telling me just before the show that you feel like smashing faces should be encouraged in schools.
Well, no.
As a
it's
mental
just,
health
let me
professional,
rephrase that. I don't
I have an
promote
issue with
violence.
that.
It's about self-defense. These kids here, they got to self-defend themselves. You know, that's why I say, violence should not be used in schools unless it's appropriate.
But
Now-
you were quoted as saying, I smash faces at every given opportunity, regardless if the person is blind, handicapped, a senior, or
Yeah, let me tell you something. That blind guy mouthed off to me. That's why he got what was coming to him. You don't mouth off to people in public. You have to have respect, etiquette, and a sense of professionalism. I don't just
You're
beat
holding
everybody
on to
up.
so much tension and hatred
Yeah.
and stuff. You need to let it go. You have to let your heart and
I'll
your
let it go. I'll let it go soon on your face
and
if you're
become
not
your
careful.
truest best self, like
No.
Lorena Bobbitt.
No,
Yeah,
please.
Lorena
Have you
Bobbitt.
ever tried chewing valerian root? It's a natural calming.
That's
I
on the
say.
Game of
This-
Thrones.
You know,
right?
out here on the West Coast, everybody here, you guys are all messed up in the head. That's all I got to say.
Speaking of being messed up in the head, you were recently on a telethon for a local TV station
about
for
gravel.
Yes. Now, I wanted to ask you about that. Thank you for bringing it up. You are an artist who works in the medium of gravel. Some people use paint, some people use marble, but you work in the medium of gravel, an interpretive dancer and an artist who works in the medium of gravel. again,
Well, because
what is the
gravel
process?
doesn't get its just due.
Why?
Because everybody's looking at the concrete block or some kind of pillar or something. But gravel itself is so important, and it's so small, and it's neglected. But so I wanted to do something to show that how much we need gravel. And so and gravel it's just so beautiful, and sometimes it can adhere to you, and sometimes it drops off, and they have small little bits of gravel and larger bits of gravel, because the smallest bit of gravel can come the biggest rock.
So what you're saying is that gravel is really a metaphor for institutional capitalism, is what you're saying.
Actually, the contrary. The contrary is that it's that the capitalism of gravel pushed itself to an ulterior and exterior movement.
I didn't see it that way. Now, Bob, you were saying the other day that you hate Canadians.
What do you mean the other day? I've never met you before in my life.
Well, this is in the notes that were sent to me via email. So you told our screener that you hate Canadians, especially Alex Trebek. Why Alex Trebek?
Not Alex Trebek.
He's one of them Frenchies. I don't like Frenchies. I don't like people who aren't American.
So, but Canada's kind of like America. I mean, except
Canada
for the red
was
mailboxes.
good to me a
it's
couple of
still-
times. I had
Canada
to
is like American.
had
It
to
is
make an
American, thank
extended
you.
stay in Canada a couple of
Merv
times, and they
Griffin.
were good to me. So I will say that. You Canadian people didn't call the police on me.
So
More than I can say about some people in other neighborhoods.
So these
where I
screener
come
notes,
from.
are these incorrect? So you don't hate Canadians?
I don't hate anybody.
You were just giving me a
I
list of
don't
people you
hate
don't like.
anybody. I just
Like to beat them
people
up.
who get out of line.
Yeah.
They deserve what they get. That's all I'm saying.
So, do you like smashing faces, or is it just libido?
Does you like the Smash
Libido.
Mouth?
Just
the
one
band?
final thing I'll say,
Maybe he likes
and then I'm
Smash
going to
Mouth, the
shut up
band.
for the remainder
Please.
because I know you guys got to go. It's just, I'm not a violent man. I just do what needs to be done when it needs to be done.
So, Basura, where can we
cross the
see you in
lines,
your
you
next
pay for it.
Your next performance? Where can we
Thank
see
you.
you again?
Okay, it'll be at the Lincoln Memorial.
Lincoln Memorial.
Yes, it's going to be at the Lincoln Memorial. And but we're dancing between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument
So,
to represent freedom and the penis.
the
guy's talking about the
theme
penis all the time. He's
penile
got a-
theme is
got-
palpable, if you will. It's almost throbbing
It's
in your work.
America.
Well, that concludes this episode of Special Moments with Stevie D. We do hope Stevie D has a speedy recovery and the doctors can remove the rod. Once again, I want to thank Mr. Bob Evans and Mr. Basura
Peace out there.
Basura Sandoval.
Be careful out on the
Thank
streets.
you.
I'm telling you, it's a rough world
This
out
episode
there.
has
Be careful.
This episode has been brought to you by Frank's Bail Bonds. When you're in trouble, don't call Mom, call Frank.
No problem.